Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, y'all. It's me, Tamara. Yes. All right, y'all. So, excuse me. This episode is going to be like a combination Closet Chronicles / regular episode because I've been owing y'all in my mind because didn't nobody really ask for the Closet Chronicles episodes, but I have been needing to do one for a while. But when I tell y'all I'm busy and I wasn't ready for everything I've been praying and preparing for, like, it has been quite the adjustment. So thank you everyone for listening, tuning in, all that good stuff. Let's get into it. So let's go back to Father's Day. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that June is a tough month for my family. If you're new or just don't know, 7 years ago, today actually, which is crazy. So today is June 29th. So 7 years ago, June 29th of 2015, my ex-husband / my daughter's father, I have two daughters, they're 18 and 20. Their dad was killed, right? So Father's Day was the last time they saw him. So those are always tough times. But then let's sprinkle in for a little razzle dazzle because y'all see the episode title. My birthday was Monday. June 27th is my birthday. I just turned 42. Shout out to all y'all that reached out to me, all that good stuff. Okay, cool. So my birthday is always tough every year because it's just, there's just this cloud of darkness and pain and whatever that's permeated through it. I literally was still celebrating my birthday that year because I celebrate, it just depends on when my birthday falls. Like this year, my birthday was on a Monday. So, and then I'm an entrepreneur, so I don't get no PTO. So I worked yesterday, I worked Monday, I worked today too, but I actually hung out with my sister who's in town, who today's her birthday. So yeah, I celebrate my birthday kind of whenever. And honestly, I say like the week leading up to it and the week after, anything that happens is a birthday celebration. So I had a meeting with somebody the Friday before my birthday and they treated me to coffee and breakfast and whatever. I was like, birthday present, like that's just how I am. So anyways, I was still celebrating my birthday when I got the call or whatever. So birthday's hard every year. But Father's Day this year, and it's not like, because even my birthday, like, but I guess we'll kind of go in order because, like I said, I've been owing y'all this since around Father's Day. So Father's Day, the night leading into Father's Day, I kind of like, it was rough. Like I cried as if the man was just killed. And I'm not saying like I don't feel sadness. I mean, those of y'all that have been listening know that I've dealt with a lot in the aftermath of grieving and raising grieving children and all that. But for whatever reason this year, it was harder. And I just found myself the night leading into Father's Day asking myself, why? Why? Not asking myself why, asking God why. Like, why did this dude really have to get killed? You know what I'm saying? Father's Day is always tough anyway because of my issues with my bio dad, you know what I'm saying? So like it already was tough, but then it's one thing for it to be my own pain, but then for it to be my kids' pain, that sucks, you know what I'm saying? Plus, I mean, I've known that man since I was like 16 turning 17 when I met his family. So like I've known him a long time. We were friends before anything else. So it's like Father's Day this year was rough, and part of it may be because we've reconnected with two of my stepdaughters, and so I've been used to just kind of like navigating my daughter's grief, my daughter's pain, but it hits different when I know that most likely if he was still alive, I wouldn't. Now, I'm not saying, and I've said this to them, I'm not saying I wouldn't have a relationship with them, because I would, because I just have a soft spot in my heart for the next generation anyway. So I'm not saying that, but I'm very intentional about creating stuff to make sure that they can get together and like build their relationship, because it's just a lot. Like one of them, her and her siblings were adopted, and we've tried a few times. I talked about this a little bit on the episode with that Shivani was on. Shout out to her, the self-care episode. You should definitely go back and listen to it because she gave some really good tips. But like we have tried to different points make it to where the kids could like be together, and the adopted family just wasn't really going for it. And so now she's 19, the oldest daughter, so we're able to do, not do whatever, but basically because she's grown and moved out, so there's nothing stopping her. So she came over for Father's Day. Usually it's like on Father's Day and his birthday and on his death anniversary, we'll kind of try to do something. And so then this year I was like, okay, well, I'll start inviting y'all to everything now that we've reconnected and whatever. And so it's different because I know that first of all there wouldn't be a death anniversary. There wouldn't be me, like they would be going with their dad if he was alive. You know what I'm saying? So it's like reconnecting with them highlights even that much more that he's gone. And so then it's just I don't know. I don't even know if it's just that. I think it's also too, and I've talked about this on here, where I've just become a person where I've been just processing through a lot of the stuff that made me more so want to be numb to life in general. So I feel everything so much more deeply. And so I'm realizing this is just who I am as a person now. It's not that time of the month like I think it is sometimes. It's not whatever. It's just when something I just feel deeply, everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's a weird adjustment when you spent most of your life trying to numb everything, and then you start feeling and then feeling pain. But even like extreme joy is it can be overwhelming at times because when you're just used to being numb, you're used to being numb. You know what I'm saying? So Father's Day was rough leading into it. Now, day of, one of my stepdaughters came over. The other one wasn't able to make it. She thought she was going to be able to, but I was like, don't worry. I'm planning on at least once a month doing something intentional. And then, like, I've told them, like, once I move, y'all literally can come over whenever you want. You don't even have to ask. All you have to do is just say, hey, I'm on my way. Just like I would have it with my kids if they didn't live at home. Like my son who doesn't live with me, he doesn't have to ask to come over. He just has to tell me he's coming over just so I, dressed or, whatever, know what's going on. So yeah, Father's Day was rough. Leading into it, I should say. The actual day, it was so good to just eat, laugh, talk about different stuff, catch up, you know what I'm saying? Because Janae's graduation party was the first time that I guess I'll say her name. I'd be like, I don't know. My kids, excuse me, are used to certain things and the life that I live and all that, but so I guess I won't, because I really try to be respectful of whatever. So the one of my stepdaughters, she came to the graduation party, and that was kind of the first time really like getting to spend time with her. And then she was at Janae's graduation as well. And then, now we had Father's Day. And so it's like, I'm just trying to be intentional because I know, like I was telling Kayliana today about something else, like it's good to create boundaries and all this stuff when you're like building relationship with someone and establishing, you know, rapport or whatever. But it's also super important to just like have memories, spend time together. What, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've heard it said that rules without relationship is cruelty. If you just have rules, and you're like, but you ain't even built no rapport with nobody, like it's gonna be different for somebody to receive it versus than if you've built rapport, spent time, made memories, whatever. Then if you have to kind of like correct somebody or whatever, a lot of times they'll receive it a little bit better because they understand the heart behind it because they know you or whatever. So yeah, that was Father's Day. And then man, work is like, I told you I took this, I'm doing this subcontracting work. So I'm like, I have steady coaching clients that I have 4 now that I'm meeting with 3 times a week. So it's different than what I would be doing if these weren't filtered from kids on probation, because I can't imagine, I mean, if somebody wanted to pay me that, don't get me wrong, but I can't imagine somebody wanting to pay to see me 3 times a week that was paying out of their own pocket. You know what I'm saying? I, in my mind, envision it more so weekly, but it's also a different type of thing. Like I do have other coaching clients that are like weekly clients, you know what I'm saying? So finding the balance of, I spent the beginning of owning my company and even stepping away from my previous job, I spent the beginning of it mainly doing like projects. So SOPs predominantly, and then started getting into content creation. So I have one monthly content creation client. The others were just hit and miss projects here and there, which it's all good. You know what I'm saying? And so it's interesting because nothing was happening because I had some business, but compared to now, like nothing was happening. And then now everything is happening all at once. And I am the type of person that I create rhythm. So I had a certain rhythm that worked for not having to meet, like, because I meet with these people in person. So now you have to factor in drive time. Remember, I don't have a vehicle, so I'm using Kayliana's vehicle. And so I take her to work and pick her up. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm having to factor in just more time on top of maintain uploading my content. That is important because this business summit that I'm going to be a part of, I know for sure they asked me to be a part of it. I'm going to be doing a breakout session. I don't know if I said this on here, but I feel like I did, but whatever, about creating a marketing strategy. And I know I was invited to be a part of this because of what I do and the content that I create for not 1, not 2, but for 3 brands, really, if you include podcasting, because podcasting is honestly where it started before there was a Melon Intoxicate and a Tamara the Donique. Shout out though, I have a Melon Intoxicate shirt on today. I'm trying to be, especially now that I'm like out and about more. When I went to the zoo with my sister today, shout out to her. She took me to the zoo. We'll just say that was my birthday present. She came in town literally to see me. We went to the zoo. It was so good to spend time with her. Haven't seen her since her college graduation, like 5 years ago. But anywho, so when college graduation from her bachelor's, because my sister definitely has a master's degree. I don't even have a master's degree. Shout out to her. But anyways, I'm wearing a Melon Intoxicate shirt today, and I went to get some food in between clients, and I actually went in the restaurant to like sit down. Plus, it's hot as hell, and I wasn't about to be eating in my car, so I like had about an hour's time. So I went in the restaurant, got some food, and this lady complimented my shirt, and it just hits different when it's your own brand. And I really need to start wearing my stuff more. I need to get more of my stuff though, because I actually only have 2 shirts because I just ain't really had it like that. Y'all know I'm just now getting to the point where income is steady. Shout out, praise God, all that good stuff, because it's not like I had no income, but it wasn't like steady like it is now, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's great. So shout out to that. But I have to maintain my stuff. So it has been such an adjustment. I gotta start actually waking up earlier. I realize that's just really what it is, because working out is super important, and it's just good for I sleep good. It's good for my mental health just to have that like preventative stress management, you know what I'm saying? Even when it's not necessarily a bad day, it's just good to I've really gotten into I have my little ratchet playlist, which you already heard some of the songs on the episode that I did with Kyle and J Boog and Doug. Shout out to them. And shout out to that. Those are really songs for my playlist. And now I've added to it because I'll just ask my kids, like, hey, I need some music for my playlist. And so that's where I be learning all these songs, because I don't really listen to the radio or nothing like that. And now what I've gotten into is so dope that over the years I've done I've done Insanity, I've done Turbo Fire, I've done Hip Hop Abs. Shout out to Bully Juice. I follow him on Instagram and have done his workouts. I've done shout out to, I can't remember, but there's this couple that I used to do. So I've done so many people's different stuff over the years that, like, honestly, I could create workout routines, and I do. So basically what I do is I know I need to work these muscles, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to incorporate some cardio, whatever. Also, shout out to Nick. He did a Melon Intoxicate, I think. Yep, I had him do a melon intoxication episode. He gave me, I got a workout routine for him, not gave. I bought it from him because he's a trainer. So I incorporate all this stuff together, and I put my playlist on, and I at least work out a half an hour, at least. And then on Saturdays or Sundays, I mow the lawn, so that takes about an hour, and that's just cardio, but it's kind of strength too, because there's a hill, and even though it's a self-propelled mower, I usually just push it, and the only time I really use that part is when I'm pushing up the hill. So I've just really been trying to be on everything, but now that I'm busier, and I can't not be busier because I need to be making money, you know what I'm saying? I gotta start getting up earlier. I'm not really a morning person, whatever. It's been a hell of an adjustment. A project that I took on, I really underestimated, and this is the first time it ever has happened, but everything is a learning lesson for me in all things, like business aside. That's just how I am. What can I learn from this so I don't have to go through this again? Because I took on this client, a SOP project that actually needs a lot more research than I anticipated. So I underestimated. I've communicated this to the client, all that stuff. I'm actually going to, when I give them their final invoice, I'm actually going to give them a discount. Their understanding, and they've said it's okay if it takes me longer, but I don't like that I didn't meet a deadline. This is literally the first time. When I say ever, I am very prioritized tasks according to deadlines, because I do not want to not have something done when it's supposed to be due. That's how I did in my every job I've ever had. So this is literally the first time ever that I'm behind on a deadline. Yes, I've communicated. Yes, they know why. Yes, whatever. But I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's really making me try to, now that I'm doing a lot more coaching, which I love coaching, and I want to get into more like even workshops, because I love teaching, and I love that I can take like business terminology and business concepts and explain it plainly so that people can understand. Like, I've had people say that, something I said, they couldn't understand why they were struggling with like a mission statement or whatever. For example, somebody who came through the Build-A-Biz workshop. I'm going to be launching that again after I do this business summit. I just feel like I don't want it. it's kind of similar stuff, you know what I'm saying? So to me, no one's ever said anything, but it feels like a conflict of interest if I'm supposed to be a part of this thing that's actually a paid speaking engagement to then be like promoting my own stuff when really they could go to that and actually get different speakers and different whatevers, and it's not something that happens. I don't know how often they're going to do it. I think this is the first one, or it's the first one that I've ever seen. So it's like I just feel like I'll wait until after that's over to get my workshops back up and going. Couldn't do it May. And I might, who said, like, I never said I was going to do it every month, but the whole point is somebody that came through the Build a Biz workshop said that I was able to get her to understand the purpose of a mission statement. Like, there are people that will see my content and like, I don't use a ton of business terminology just because sometimes these words, yes, they have meaning, but if you don't understand what that means plainly, how are you going to grasp it? You know what I'm saying? So it's all about who your target audience is and like you tailoring your content to them. But my whole point is that I really like teaching. I really like doing workshops. I really love the coaching. I really love that. I'm not saying I don't like SOPs because I like that too, because it gives me something to where there's a project that starts and finishes and it gives me that sense of completion. But it's all about just finding new rhythms so that I can stay on top of everything because I have never owned a business before and this is new. But at the same time, I'm extremely grateful. There was a point when I think I said this on here. I thought I was going to have to go back to a 9 to 5, and I'm so glad I don't. And I'm so glad that not only am I doing subcontracting, which is the cool thing about subcontracting is it's work that I would do from my company anyway. So I don't look at it like when people say, oh, you have a job. I don't look at it like that because it's technically not a job. I'm subcontracted. So like no taxes come out, whatever. You could almost say I'm like a sole proprietor if I didn't already have my own company. But the way I look at it is if I was a nail tech and I worked in a salon, the nail tech is filtering clients to me, but I'm still doing the work that I would be doing if I had my own salon. It's just with me doing the subcontracting, I don't have to worry about am I going to have clients? And also, I meet with them probably more times a week for sure than I would if it was just somebody for me. And I can take as many or as few clients as I want to kind of like make sure that I stay on top of the stuff with my company because I'm monthly content creation clients that's increasing. And just I don't know, I had a meeting with somebody who was like wanting to know what my company does because he's partnered with some organization and he's a consulting agency, but his consulting agency does different things than me. So he's trying to figure out how we can partner together. And I love it because people will ask me if I do stuff like write business plans and all that. No, I wrote mine. I have a business plan, but that's not something that I want to do for anybody else. He does that. You know what I'm saying? I write SOPs. I create content. You know what I'm saying? So it's so crazy because remember a few episodes ago, I said I wanted to get more into partnering with people here locally because there is such a beauty of networking that I've done within the podcast community. But most of y'all, if I don't know any podcasters here, and someone who's a content creator who it isn't an entrepreneur, and this is not like saying it's any less than or whatever, so don't hear that. But I'm just saying, like, you're going to look at it differently. Like, you're not going to know. You may refer clients to me. You may not. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you don't live here, you know? So, like, I've really been wanting to, like, connect and collaborate with people here. So I love, and what's crazy is, man, thank God I stay on top of creating my content because it's the content that I create for Tamara the Dawn Inc. that shows people, like, if nothing else, they see that I'm consistently creating content. So it's continuing to put my business before people, to where then people are like, oh, yeah, let me see what she does so I could throw some business her way or whatever. So I love it. Consistency. It's so crazy because we know those of y'all who've been here from day 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, y'all know that was not a strength of mine in the past. But yeah, it has been a crazy, crazy adjustment. My birthday was Monday, so that I am finally 42. If y'all have listened, you know that I don't know why, for whatever reason, there were ages that are just, I don't, it's not even ages, it's numbers that I just don't like. And I couldn't wait to say I was 42. For whatever reason, 41 just wasn't where it's at. 43, I'm probably not like that number either, because it sounds stupid when you say it. 44, fo, yes, I'll be glad when I get there. 45, but then once I hit 46, it's like, that seems like a stupid number too. So it's not about getting older. I don't care about that. It is what it is. It's not about even numbers, odd numbers. I don't know the rhyme or reason, but all I know is I couldn't wait till I turned 42, and now I'm 42. And it's funny because my brother called me Cedric. Y'all know, y'all heard him on here. Big Rich Town. We will be coming back. If you watch Power though, you know Power is on a break until August 14th. Raising Kanan will be back. But he called me on my birthday and he was like, "How you feel?" or something like that. And I was like, "I feel grown. Like I'm deeper into the 40s. Like 40 was like, okay, I'm 40. 41 was like, okay, we in this thing a little bit more. But 42 is like, I'm really in my 40s. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy because people, especially people that just meet me, like as I've been meeting youth and doing all that stuff, when somehow my age comes up or whatever, they're like, I wouldn't have guessed you to be that old. I would have thought you was 30, or I would have thought you was whatever. And it's like, I have a 22-year-old. I cannot be as young as y'all want me to be. I'm not tripping. You could think I look that young all you want, but I can't be that young, because what I look like 30 with a 22-year-old. So I was pregnant at 8. I was busting it open at 8. No, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Birthday was Monday though, y'all. And like I said, my birthday it's hard every year because it didn't used to be like this, obviously, but ever since, so for the past 7, I won't say for the past 7 years, because my 35th birthday, that actual birthday was fine. But 36 and beyond, man, it has been rough because of what surrounds it. And the night leading into my birthday, I found I cried at the start of my birthday. So I cried the night leading into my birthday, and I cried at the end of my birthday as I went to go to sleep, the 27th. The 27th going into the 28th, because it's just like, it just makes me mad that I remember the night leading into my birthday, I was like, God, why does this nigga really have to get killed around my birthday? And then I was like, why you being weird to me? I saw that on social media. But and then I just kept saying that really all my birthday. But and then it just like made me mad, you know what I'm saying? Because I always feel like I want my birthday to be this, I don't even know, overwhelming day of goodness, so that I don't have to think about anything else. You know what I'm saying? I just be wanting like my birthday to actually just be my birthday, and not, and you can't not think about, I mean, the 29th is 2 days later. You know what I'm saying? So like, soon as June hits, And it's not like you think about it in January, February, whatever, but obviously the month that everything went down, like it's just so many significant things with it being Father's Day and that being the last time that we saw him, and then, him getting killed on the 29th. So it's like once June hits, it's like whatever. So then it's like once my birthday comes, it makes me mad, and it doesn't mean I don't try to celebrate my birthday or I don't embrace it, because I do, but it'd be unrealistic for me to, I'd be lying if I said I don't struggle. And I'm not going, I'm at this place, I was telling Lindsey, where like, I'm embracing whatever I feel, however I feel it, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to necessarily let how I feel dictate what I do or stay in offense if somebody offends me. And it's been an interesting birthday, because there are, and this isn't about podcasters, because I've only met 4 of y'all in real life. Shout out to the crew. So, but there are people that I didn't hear, like, still haven't said happy birthday, that I'm a little shocked by. And there's even a situation, and I'm not gonna say exactly what it was. Y'all know me, I be trying to be vague about stuff sometimes, because it's never about who or what, it's about what I'm feeling and it's about me and how I'm trying to grow through whatever I'm going through. But imagine you worked for a company, right? And imagine if they normally send out birthday messages like, oh, company, today's so-and-so's birthday, celebrate them, whatever. Imagine they do that for everybody, and they've usually done it for you every other year that you've worked for this company. And then for whatever reason, this year they didn't do it. But they did other people's birthdays that fell, prior to yours, and they'll probably do other people's birthdays after, because that's what they normally do. But for whatever reason, they didn't recognize your birthday. That happened to me this year. Now, obviously, it's not a company that I work for, because I work for myself. And the company that I'm subcontracting to, like the owner, he texts me on my birthday. So it's not that. Let me just clarify, you know what I'm saying? But I use that example of a company so that I can kind of be vague about where it really was. And it made me realize how that, plus there are people that I have like close relationships with that I'm like surprised, because every other year, and like I'm not mad, but I'm not gonna lie and say that I didn't feel some type of way, because my birthday is extremely important to me, and it has been important to them every other year until this year. So it's really weird, and I've really had to sit with, you see so many things where people are like, oh, would you stop being friends with your whatever because they didn't come to your birthday on Applebee's, or come to Applebee's on your birthday, or whatever. I've seen like Facebook statuses or whatever, maybe even tweets where people are saying like, people don't owe you this, people don't whatever. Now, I am not the person that's going to stay in a fence and end a friendship or stop working for a company or whatever the nature of the relationship with that other thing, just because they didn't acknowledge me on my birthday. But it really showed me how much, like, I don't know, it's literally only been 2 days, so it's not like this is old, and I still feel some type of way about it, because I'm just kind of like, I feel very forgotten, you know what I'm saying? Now, on the flip side, I've gotten so much love, like, everywhere. I put stuff on every social media platform, because again, y'all know who have been listening to me, I usually make a bigger deal about my birthday, like start talking about it in January, but I've been busier with other stuff. My birthday has always been an important day to me, like always. And I got so much love from so many people, even unexpected people. Even my sister coming into town. Like, granted, her birthday is today, So 2 days after mine. So like I saw her today, but at the same time, like yeah, her coming here was to see me. You know what I'm saying? So, and then shout out to the crew. They show love every year. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. Shout out to the people that have made plans with me to do stuff later, because I worked on my birthday and I work a lot, and I won't work Saturday though, and I won't work the 4th of July. So like when people were asking me, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm working," because I don't have PTO and all that stuff at this point. And I'm not established enough in my company. Like I'm just momentum is just building. So I didn't feel like I wanted to not meet with clients and throw off my schedule, you know what I'm saying? And no. So I've worked. So shout out to the people that are like, we're gonna do stuff this weekend or we're gonna do stuff whenever. Like, so I've gotten so much love. But you know how they'll say those things where it's like kind of like if you could have, and they usually say this in relationships, and obviously this isn't these aren't people I'm like dating or anything because I'm single, but they'll say stuff like you could have post a picture and have hundreds of likes, but it's only that one that actually means something. And I'm not saying the other people that show me love didn't mean anything, and I'm not even saying that these people mean more than those people. So it's not even that. I'm just saying I'm like shocked. You know what I'm saying? And I've had to sit with that and just sit with that, and not, I'm not the type that's gonna be like, why you didn't, now if it was my parents or my kids, maybe I might be like, don't I look older today? Or you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even necessarily be mad. But I, I'm not going to say anything because they really didn't do anything wrong. But I have really just had to process through feeling forgotten. You know what I'm saying? And why does it matter? And process through why do I care? And how come these other literally hundreds of people, and I'm the type of person that I will say thank you to every person that says happy birthday to me, because you didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? So I got so much, it was like extremely overwhelming in a good way. Like so much love. Still getting love from people on social media, and it's 2 days later. Because then once people see, I'm that same way though. Like if you forget, not, or excuse me, not forget, but miss somebody's birthday, and then once you see it or whatever, I'm gonna still say happy belated birthday. But I've really had to sit with that. You know what I'm saying? And then I found myself on, I think it was the night at the end of my birthday, because like I told you, I cried going into it, where I'm like, why did this dude have to get killed around my birthday? Like I just started already thinking about today then, you know what I'm saying? And I really try to like be in the moment on my birthday. That's why I try to go so hard, because I don't want, if I could help it, that day to be wasted on, and it, yeah, and like just being sad or whatever. But then at the end of my birthday, I found myself just thinking about, like, even of course with my bio dad, like every now and then I'll randomly hear from him on my birthday. Didn't this year. So then I don't know. He just, it is what it is with him. But I'm not going to say it doesn't hurt when it comes up. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, I forget to remember, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just been what it is. But then it's like when I remember, it's like, okay, but why? Like I'm literally your only child. Like what is wrong with you? And I know it's not a reflection of me, and I know it doesn't mean that I'm any less whatever. Like I know all of that in my head, but it doesn't mean that I can't have feelings about it. It doesn't mean that I can't embrace the pain that I feel in the moment that I feel it, and then move forward, you know, embrace it, cry, do whatever. I also found myself thinking about just wild stuff that I've been through, that I'm just like, why? I don't even know why. It was just on some why, and like literally was crying myself to sleep at the end of my birthday. So it was just this. It's been a wild few weeks where I don't know. But at the end of the day, you just have to, for me, what I have to do, I should say, is embrace my feelings, feel them, accept them, not deny them. I'm not going to ever let anybody tell me how I should feel about something. Now, if you see me out here wilding and I'm doing some reckless behavior, then yes, address that. But if ever, and I usually don't, I'm more journal or I pray or whatever. I start my day, quiet time, journaling, praying to kind of like my quality time and quiet time to like get ready for my day. And then at the end of the day, because now I absorb so much because I'm such an empath and now I interact with people and it's like one on one and it's heavy stuff sometimes and it's whatever. And so then I dump all of that out at the end of the day so that I can just, and it's been helpful because man, if I don't dump all of that out, I realize that's why I couldn't sleep because I just would have so much in my mind that going. Um, and so I've really just been like, embrace who I am. And even with that, like, y'all know I'm on my Snatch 40s journey, but also even embracing my body, like where it's at now. And um, just, and it's something I always strive to do, not be so focused on what I want to change, but just really, even with the imperfections, embracing the imperfections and like really loving myself more. And so I've been super intentional about that. Like in my quiet time, I've really been trying to acknowledge insecurities, but also like not remove them, but kinda like get rid of, just replacing it with security and stuff like that. Or that's not necessarily how I word it, but whatever. I've been really just focusing on like me and loving myself and accepting myself where I'm at, even in all this feeling deeply and all this mess and not, man. It's so interesting how much people will have to say about stuff. Just like people give a lot of unsolicited opinions, people give a lot of unsolicited advice, and if you know me, Chris knows for sure I can't stand either of those. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I don't take advice and I do seek counsel and I do whatever, but there's just sometimes people just speak on stuff that's like, why do you feel the need? I don't care who you are. Sometimes you should just don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I've really become more and more okay with being misunderstood. I've really become more and more okay with like, I don't care if you understand why I do what I do. I don't care if you make me the bad guy in your version of the way something happened, even if it's lying. I've just become more and more okay with that because I'm realizing how much that has been a theme in my life. And it's a theme in everybody's life. Like everybody goes through it. But I'm realizing the strategic ways that people have people that I have done nothing to. That's the crazy part. But people that have really tried to like tear me down to people that I really care about. You know what I'm saying? And it's just very interesting how that has been a theme for like years, like since I was I'm trying to think how old I was. Definitely 30, but probably even definitely before that. Like that's just been a thing forever. And that's the thing. If you don't know your worth and somebody attacks your worth, it can be so easy to get caught up in what they say. But the thing about it is, it's not that I don't have insecurities. I do. We all have them. Like, I would be lying if I said I didn't. But at the same time, my worth is not ever going to be defined by somebody else's inability to like see it. You know what I'm saying? And so let's circle back to this whole the people that didn't show birthday love, that are people that I would have like expected it to happen, especially since it's always been a thing and whatever. And for whatever reason, it wasn't this year. And yes, I embrace that I felt forgotten, but that doesn't mean that like I'm less than because they were busy, or I mean really who knows what's going on in their life. And I always think about stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? um I'm not any less than because they forgot. My birthday doesn't mean any less because they forgot, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I still acknowledge that it made me feel some type of way. And that's okay. Like, there's literally nothing wrong with it. I think the problem arises when people then just cut people off because of stuff like that, especially if the person has never, like, this isn't like, oh, these were abusive relationships and then this was the last straw. It's not like that at all. I'm actually like shocked I didn't hear from them. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't. I'm shocked that this quote unquote job, even though it's not a job, but I'm shocked that this job didn't give me the same celebration. Not even just that they give everyone else, but that they've given me every other year for my birthday. Like, I'm shocked that my birthday wasn't acknowledged. And that's okay. Like, it's okay for me to feel what I feel, but it would not be okay if then I cut all these people off. And especially if I don't ask, like, hey, what happened? Like prime example, my homie Vaughn, he was on here. I remember thinking, like, I know when his birthday is, and I remember his birthday is in June too. Like, okay, his birthday is up because my birthday is important to me. I'm also that same person that I'm gonna make sure to tell you happy. Hell, it could be somebody on Twitter that I don't even know, but you just go through the TL and I see it's your birthday, I'm gonna like it if nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Because my birthday is important to me. I didn't tell him happy birthday on his birthday, and I completely spaced off. Like, a few days before, I remember thinking, all right, yeah, his birthday is coming up. And then on his actual birthday, I don't even know what happened. I completely spaced it off. And then he posted something, and then I was like, oh, snap. So then I text him. So, like, I understand how that could happen. Like, he and we talk a lot, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like that at all. But I don't know, because of that, because of how I am about my birthday, I'm that way towards people for their birthday. But again, man, I got so much love. I got people like I woke up to text messages, and and I got love. I got love. I got a lot of love on my birthday, like a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that nobody showed me love. It's just life, this has been my week. It has been a lot of just processing emotions and asking why, and it's been a lot of being like embracing who I am and being okay with it, and really loving myself, and business is picking up. Grateful for that, because that's what I've been praying for and working towards, and making sure I have a solid foundation to stand on. So now I do have to tweak some things and be a little bit more strategic about what type of projects I take on, because coaching is one thing because you meet with them and you may have to do a little bit outside of that to like connect people with stuff or whatever, or but it's not like I have to write a 10-page paper before our next meeting or whatever. So there's less homework, quote unquote. So I love that. Workshops, the stuff that I would lead workshops for, I already have a bunch of different curriculum created. So it's not like I have to do a ton of homework for that. Projects though, that's a little different, you know what I'm saying? And I just have to be a little bit more strategic about what I take, depending on like how much research is going to be needed or whatever, because I don't ever want to have this happen again. And it's crazy because I learn a lot about different things because of the content that I create, the videos that I create. I have to do research about the topic, one, to find, because it's like I'll know the topic is important because I use it. And I would say my business is successful in the sense that I'm consistent and I keep going and I haven't quit. And now business is growing. So I would say my company is successful because it's still here and it's growing. And I feel like I'm just getting started. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I'll know there are certain things and even just stuff, even outside of, because I've really gotten into leadership development and I was a leader before I ever even had a management role, I realized, but definitely before I ever became a business owner. You know what I'm saying? And so there are things that I understand about what makes people ineffective leaders and effective leaders, and there are things that I know, but having the right language to explain it and also make sure that I could teach it so that other people can understand it, I have to do some research. And so then as I've been researching, one of the things I saw recently was saying that to be a prepared leader, that just so happens to be the topic for this week, you have to make sure that you are strategic about the projects that you take on and what you commit to so that you don't end up disappointing people. So it's just so interesting that I knew that just because of what's going on. Hold on, I gotta, y'all, my allergies have been out of control lately, being outside more too. But anyways, um, I knew that because of my experience, but it's like when you get the language to understand what it is that really happened, really I just took on something that I really just underestimated how long. I'm not going to say I shouldn't have taken it, but I shouldn't have given them the deadline that I gave them. That's really what it is. Knowing all that I have to do. And so you learn and then you move forward. But it's just so crazy that I read that this week and I just had to laugh at myself like, yep, all right, Tim, you gotta do better going forward. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't ever want to have this happen again. Even though, again, the person is understanding and this, that, and the other, and the whole discount off the final invoice thing. That makes me feel better. They didn't even ask for that, but it just makes me feel better. Mind you, I have never, like, this is not a new client. This is a returning person. So obviously I've done well and I've built their trust or earned their trust or whatever, earned to be a repeat customer. But still, I don't like this. I don't like this because this is not me, because I have always been the type of employee who prioritizes tasks according to deadlines. That's how I, whatever. So it's definitely been, you know what I'm saying, growing experience, learning, whatever. And that's okay. I'm glad this happened now, still early into it, so that as I get further, because I can see how, how sometimes you do something and you know that it's going to open doors for other things because people are going to see, oh, you do this or, whatever. So I kind of see that I'm going to be getting like more speaking engagements, more workshops. Some of that has already kind of been in the works. That's why I've created the workshops, because it was really for someone else, you know what I'm saying? But then I'm always the kind of person that I'm like, okay, well, how can I repurpose this? Like if I'm going to, like it's all about repurposing stuff so you can like maximize what you get out of whatever you create, because especially if it's valuable and it's helpful, like why not repurpose it to be different things, you know what I'm saying? So even like with the Build a Biz workshop, so that's an entire workshop on here's all the fundamentals to have a solid foundation for your business, right? That's broken down though into 2 mini workshops. So that's just me repurposing the curriculum that was already created. Like, okay, well, let me pull this one and create this mini workshop, and let me pull this out and create this mini workshop. Even when I do my Saturday videos, so, okay, I'm going to take y'all into the creative process real quick. Okay, so when I do my curriculum for the week for Tamara the Dawn Inc., right? So I do my whatever. When I do the videos, I write the scripts backwards. Everything is about being together and kind of like reiterating messages, but also repurposing content is really what it is. So I write the Saturday script first. And the Saturday script is, here are a few tips to help you become a more prepared leader, for example, is this week's video. That'll be this Saturday. So I write the Saturday script first. Then from the Saturday script, the Wednesday script is always, are you a prepared leader? And what I do is I basically, from the Saturday script on Wednesday, I start getting you thinking like, are you a prepared leader? And what I learned in this for the Saturday script, so whatever information I researched, and I usually kind of reword it a little bit so it's actually how I talk or whatever. And so I'll explain certain things. I don't just throw a bunch of business terms out there because not everybody knows what that actually means. You know what I'm saying? And if you're learning, it's not about me sounding educated. It's about me teaching so that you can not only consume the information, but retain it. And then also like make it a part of you so that then you can do whatever it is that I'm trying to teach, right? So then from the Saturday script, as I was saying, on Wednesday, it's like, are you a prepared leader? So are you doing this? And it's something that's I'm going to say in the Saturday script. And are you doing this? And then I'll say, it's like there's a formula to everything. And then I'll say, this is important to consider because of this, because you need to know why is this important to consider. And then I'll say, if you're wanting to become a more prepared leader, stay tuned. Make sure you like, follow, or subscribe. Because in this Saturday's blah, 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 I'm going to give you a few tips how you can grow in this area. Because that does 2 things. One, it lets people know like, hey, if I'm not already liked, followed, or subscribed to her, depending on where I watch this, I need to come back. Because if I want to become a more prepared leader, she's coming with, not only is she saying, are you doing this? But on Saturday, she's going to tell me how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's one way that I repurpose content. Then what I also do is then from the Saturday video, because there are so many different people in the world. And not only am I about being where the people are, which is why I post the same content on multiple different social media platforms and then also YouTube. It's why on Saturday, there's the video. And then more recently, I started creating a graphic that says it has like the bullet points. And then I say, if you want to watch the full video, and I'll have the link to the YouTube video. And why I do that is because what I learned from my daughter, from Kayliana, is Kayliana doesn't like, how does she say this? She won't listen to like the audio of my show when she listens, because we ain't going to say she listens every week. But she'll watch a YouTube video. Whereas I prefer to listen unless I'm watching you live and I can interact with you. So like shout out to Views from the 7. Unless I'm busy, I usually tune in. I don't listen to the audio as much anymore unless I miss a week. I usually will just watch their live show because I kind of prefer to see their facial expressions and all that good stuff. And like try to interact with them because I'll, send comments or whatever. And so outside of that, I usually listen to podcasts. So like she and I are different in that regard. And so there are people that won't watch the video because that's just not how they consume information. But they'll read the meme that has the points on it. And the thing about it is I will post, so like the video will go out at 11 a.m. and then at like 4 p.m., the recap summary or whatever I call it will go out that has the meme with whatever. So that's just some free game for y'all to like repurpose content. Like I don't want to turn my podcast into a blog, but I could because I could just write a blog about whatever, but my blog serves a different purpose. But there's just repurposing content is so valuable because if you took the time to create the video, for example, I take the time to do the research. I take the time to record it and edit it and add the little graphics or whatever and stuff that I add to each video. So I took the time to do all that. I don't want somebody to miss out on the information just because they're not the kind of person to watch videos. Because at the end of the day, I'm creating the content, yes, to get free game out there, yes, but also to build credibility for my company. You know what I'm saying? What am I looking for? To show myself to be knowledgeable in this area, hopefully to bring, clientele or whatever, but if nothing else, to bring support to where somebody may say, you know what, I don't know how to do this, but I know she does. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's such value. And it's so funny. I was already doing that. And then I read an article when I was researching something else. So then it's like, I'll see stuff that will confirm what I'm doing, but then it'll give me the language to explain it to someone else, because that's another thing that's important as you're like creating a digital marketing strategy, which is the funny thing is social media promotion and a digital marketing strategy are the same thing, but different people are going to be drawn to the terminology depending on who your target audience is. But you can say the same thing in a different way if you make sure you're communicating the underlying principle of the message. You know what I'm saying? But either way, your digital marketing strategy and or social media promotion, regardless, it's like, excuse me, you're doing all this work. So like, get the most out of it is my whole point. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know why I went on that tangent, but hopefully it was helpful to somebody, because at the end of the day, I want to help y'all, achieve whatever type of goals that you're trying to achieve. It's not always just about my life and how I'm trying to grow. As you know, though, I'm always about encouraging y'all, whatever. But yeah, I guess make sure you are taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, all that good stuff. Make sure you are being healthy in your relationships. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's see what else. I guess that's it. Again, thank you for everybody that showed birthday love. I appreciate it. It really means a lot. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for